Hi, and welcome back to AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris. Joining me today from Sydney is Dr. Mike Kollo. Mike is the CEO of Evolved AI, and we're going to be talking about the lack of sophisticated AI problems. Hey, Mike, welcome to AI in 5. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Simon, how's it going?
Yeah, really good. We're going to jump right in. I heard you make a very controversial statement recently. And it was about how we're stumbling with the adoption of AI. Do you want to explain more about that?
Yeah, look, absolutely, and thanks so much for this opportunity. So I'll be quite quick. I suppose over the last 2 years, we've had Gen AI, come to our shores. We've tried to adopt it and use it, and we've had mixed success and mixed failures. There's lots of people that are kind of questioning the economic value of it versus the kind of intellectual value of it. I'm starting to come to the belief that our biggest problem with adoption with AI is as we build more and more intelligent systems, we simply don't have more and more intelligent problems. And so we're kind of running out of really intelligent problems to give it, unless you're talking about scientific discovery or something very niche and very specialized, in which case most of that field is kind of reticent to use a language model. I mean, let me liken this, for example. I don't know if you have any interns or want to have any interns, but if you've had a very, very smart intern come into the office and say, look, I really want to work on your toughest problems, chances are most offices kind of go, well, can you fix the printer or can you fix my spreadsheet or something else? Like we don't have an abundance of really smart problems that we need smarter and smarter systems to solve in a lot of, especially white collar industries.
Yeah, so it's more like asking it to fix the jam photocopier. How do we get around this? I mean, we've got these great, fantastic tools. Is there a way that we can come up with more sophisticated problems, or is it just that general purpose is for solving simple things?
Well, I mean, that's a fascinating point. So, I mean, AGI is, general artificial intelligence. So the idea that you have an AI system that is as, if not smarter than us in many different things, and it has kind of learned from a particular field, but adopted it, I think is only useful economically if we have problems to put it to work on. And so therefore, I mean, to your point, how do we kind of solve this problem? In some sense, I mean, the likes of Apple and Google, they're trying to optimize our calendar and our driving route from point A to B. So the economic value of these activities is tiny, but the technology that's being put to them is obviously enormous. And the idea is that they're scalable. So lots of little tinies add up to a big number. And that works for when you're servicing 1 million people with a small benign problem. But it doesn't work when you've got 200 people, 300 people in an office, and 30 of them have a particular problem. And you're trying to work out whether, you need a huge AI system or whether you just need to have a conversation with, 20 people to try and solve it better. So I suspect that our bigger problem is that our industries and our entire workplaces are built around a human level of intelligence and understanding. And so even when you bring in a bunch of geniuses into that place, whether it's people or AI systems, it's not clear that those institutions can facilitate that kind of growth in intelligence in any kind of short order. And so they look at this thing and go, well, I don't know what to use you for. Can you just write another email for my buddy, celebrating their birthday? Even though you could write a sonnet in 100 different languages, all I really want you to do is just to write a simple paragraph. And
Simple paragraph. I recently heard, I think Professor Leo Farrell, who's from La Trobe, and he was saying that they found about a 10% uplift in use of these tools after training, rather than just dumping the tool and saying, hey, enjoy it. Do you think that's a part of it, or is the problem just even bigger?
No. I mean, look, I think that's absolutely a huge part of it. So there's no question that people need training and they need education and they need a lot of hand-holding at the beginning, and finding out that we need maybe more hand-holding than we realized. So certain people in an office will just pick it up and use it and, kind of enjoy it. But that's usually about, I don't know, 5% of the workforce, and everybody else needs hand-holding because this is a genuine change in the way that we do work. It's a genuine change in the way that we think, maybe the way that we create things and so on. So I think on that part, we can achieve much greater productivity that's been promised to us just with a little bit of training. So I think that's absolutely the case. But if we're talking about whether AGI is an existential risk to the workforce, to industries, to economies, And we're kind of asking the question, oh my gosh, when AGI arrives, are we all just going to be in nirvana or something else? I think for that to be the case, we would have to have industries or have facilities that can take on board much more intelligent ways of doing things, much more intelligent solutions, run with them, create them. And so when I asked this question to ChatGPT, because I had a great conversation, I've started doing
Yep.
these conversations with superintelligence type podcasts with it. I found that the number one solution it provided was that we should provide more control to AI systems and
Oh,
just let it kind of get on with it and let it do whatever it's going to do,
yep.
and we're not kind of restraining it back.
I hope when we get to the point of AGI, I'm working 2 days and having 5 day weekends instead of the other way around. Anyway, we're at time, but I always ask everyone that comes on the show the same question, at least for this year. And that is, what's your one big hot tip for someone who's just starting their AI journey? Maybe they're opening ChatGPT for the first time.
Oh, I think my hot tip is the same as it's been for the last 2 years, and probably will be the same 2 years more onwards, which is get your hands around it. I think the way that we're going to, as a nation, use and adopt as a society AI and understand it and so on, not if we are dictated or regulated to, but if we are enabled to utilize it. So today, you have access to these free systems like ChatGPT, like others. Just try it out. Just experiment, be interested in it, get engaged with it, and you yourself would kind of decide, I suppose, how useful it is and how the way that you understand the AI system.
Yeah, great advice. This has been a wonderful AI in 5. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Cheers.